Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. That strange sound is our dog.
Let's just listen to it.
Can you hear it?
Wow.
Welcome, coffee
Makes me
moaners.
thirsty.
Welcome. Don't forget, if you were over on Instagram with me a minute ago and I said to you, if it's your first time joining us on Coffee Moaning, just say first time so we can shout you out and welcome you. Pitter patter, pitter patter, pitter patter.
On that, I just wanted to say something actually. A number of people will probably click on Nadia's link on her story sometimes, come here, see it, watch this, be unable to like it or dislike it, unable to comment and unable to subscribe. And that'll be because you're simply watching it on YouTube and you don't have a Gmail account. You have to have a Gmail account to be able to fully interact with YouTube. A Google Mail account.
Only takes a few minutes.
Takes a few minutes. You just go to Google, you say create an email. It's another email account. It doesn't become your main email account, but you have to create an email account before you can have any interactivity with any
so
YouTube
do it
film.
because we love hearing from you. We love calling you out.
And it's free and it doesn't cost the price of a TV license or a Netflix subscription or anything like that.
Good morning, Val Smith. Good morning, Gemma Chamberlain. Good morning, Raspberry Mojito Girl.
Jill Taylor, quiet sub. Good morning, Jill.
Good morning, Jill.
Russ. I always think, as soon as I see Russ South pop up, I think of you. I think of your beautiful wee one. And then I think of Oxford.
Lovely Oxford.
Lovely
morning,
Oxford.
Lizzie Russell. Morning, Grace Ann Martin. Morning, Christine Bett. Now, when I was over on Instagram a minute ago, we were talking about various things and somebody said to me, forget all that. What about the Real Housewives of New Jersey, Teresa Giudice losing all her money?
It's not coming back though, is it, New Jersey?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it is?
It's New York that isn't, I think.
No, New Jersey, at the end of the series. Don't you remember? It was the biggest tearing apart. It's never coming back, returning ever again.
Did it say that?
Yes.
Well, anyway, whilst we were there, I was saying how we are all obsessed with the housewives. And I said, come over because I want to show you. We got a gift sent to us by Hey You, who they're basically the app, aren't they, that show all the
British
American
based.
shows.
It's like Bravo in America. Look at that.
Hey You Wood. It's biscuits.
Hey You Wood.
It's made from biscuits, biscuitières. What are they called? Biscuitière, that company?
Yeah, where we went with Lee on Vlogmas. Go and check out that Vlogmas.
We had it over there, and then we realised Chi-Chi was making waves to bloody eat it. Isn't it amazing?
No, Chi-Chi would sit next to it, and like the dog on the HMV symbol, she'd just look at it. And of course, she's blind, so she wasn't really looking at it. She could smell it.
We love all things Hey You.
Anyway. Are you going to eat it, says Trina Cotton?
No! I'm going to buy a packet of biscuits if I want some biscuit. That's amazing.
I see that popping up on the Antiques Roadshow in another 100 years.
I'm worried about the pink fading, though.
Don't keep holding
We've had it since before Christmas. I love it. I love it so much.
That makes me think of my granddad as soon as I hear this.
I wonder how much it cost to have something like that made.
Don't mention Dorit, Zoe. Don't mention Dorit.
Dorit, who seems to be calling everyone a CUNT this series.
Which makes her even hotter.
Well, fancies her. God.
No, there's just some, I don't know. I mean, she goes on.
Yeah, but
though I have to say, I really like Erica in this. In fact, I'm really enjoying Beverly Hills.
Anyway, so what are we going to be talking about? Trump's tariffs game show, because it looked like a game show. We're going to have a bit of a giggle at his expense. Yeah. Why not? Polite British phrases.
The phrases that cover up what you really mean. Very hard for other cultures, and I think Americans really struggle with this.
We should do this on Trump's America as well.
Absolutely.
We did Trump's America last night, guys. If you missed it, it's of course it's uploaded. So healthy Gen Zers. We've got some good news about the Gen Zers.
Oh yeah, nice news. And we're going to talk about Ben Affleck, who's dyed his hair.
Yes.
As has
so we're
George
keeping
Clooney.
it fairly light today because there's been so much horrible news.
Right, let's just.
On that,
yes.
I just wanted to thank you so much for so many of you that left really lovely comments under my post about becoming ambassador for children, not numbers. Thank you so much for all your lovely messages. So I'm going to be, we as a family are going to be doing a lot of fundraising, but with fun things to do. We're not going to just be asking people to give us money. And the very first thing we're going to do is on the 12th of April.
I don't know the date.
Yeah.
Are you sure it's the 12th? I thought it was the 18th.
I'll put the link under here.
Don't put the date in your diary.
Dina and
Not
I
yet.
are doing a Curly Cooks cook-along with cooking Middle Eastern food. And it's an Eventbrite event. And so we'll be cooking, we'll be having loads of fun. We'll be teaching you a dish that you've never seen before. You'll get a week before the ingredients, so you can buy the ingredients, join in, or just hang out and watch. And we'll be telling you a little bit about Children Not Numbers as well, and what they're doing. Things are beyond anything you could possibly imagine for children out there at the moment. So yeah, we'll put the link under here for the Eventbrite, and hopefully we'll see some of you guys here. Obviously going out to a wider audience, but I really hope some of our community is there too.
And please do go and check out Nadia's post where she gave her speech for Children Not Numbers. It's a great privilege, I know, for Nadia to be an ambassador for them, and it's a huge. She's a huge virtue to the charity as well. You know, you need profiled people who are unafraid to talk about, good God, that most contentious of things, making sure innocent children don't die. I do feel slightly like we need to potentially do a separate live about Gaza, because a lot has actually happened in the last 24 hours.
Really has, and we've been overwhelmed by the horror.
And we've got America happening the same, and specifically around Netanyahu's plans to carve up the Gaza Strip, which seems to be hidden in the background.
We'll do an extra.
I just want to share a couple of other thoughts, just house order type stuff. Someone just said, thank you. How to Stay Married was amazing. Thank you. We did one yesterday. Positive outlook I needed, which is precisely why Nadia wanted to do the topic on adolescence.
Yeah, take a look at it, guys, because I said, even if you don't have children, I think we're all responsible for children, aren't we? It takes a village. We're all responsible. Why the world is in such a mess is we are lost community. And I think the more informed we are, the better. And we did the whole podcast from a post that we found on Instagram, and this woman really made us think and realize maybe things aren't as well. Things are bad, but actually we have a lot more power than we thought we did as parents. So yeah,
it's kind of slightly counterintuitive approach to the show. I just want to kick off the talk of Donald. I've put in the title Trump's Tariff Game Show. Like a tariff game show host, he had, rather than the spinning wheel of the Wheel of Fortune, he had the rectangles of misfortune as he launched levies and tariffs across the world.
And lots of people still don't really get what a tariff is. Tariff is a tax.
Yeah.
You think of it as just an extra tax.
It's a charge on goods sold to other countries, or a charge on goods brought in.
And he thinks if he makes everything so expensive, what will happen is that countries all around the world will just turn up in America and say, oh, we'll make it here instead.
But to be brutally honest with you, the reason it's not as simple as all of that is that, you know, he's trying to redress a balance. I'm sure there are many Americans, many supporters of Trump, who will say, we are being tariffed to death by the rest of the world. America is, and it's about time America tariffed back. So without wishing to be an apologist for Trump, it's not without some logic behind what he's doing. The way he's going about it is disproportionate. It's universal. It's being condemned as an absolutely inevitable creator of recession, inflation, increased costs. It's going to make the worse off in America worse off. His idea that it's going to be a manufacturing boost for the states, that will only materialize in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years.
How is people suddenly going to have, I'll just make Mercedes cars over here. How's that going to happen?
I heard someone talking about Detroit saying, oh, it will mushroom. Well, it won't mushroom in a day and it won't mushroom in a year. But I just want to...
But Mark, to your point, there are so many unfair things that go on in the world, many of them coming directly from America. So he's, with him saying, oh, it's not fair, we're paying more taxes, he's completely knocking the world off balance, isn't he? And the economies around the world, and people are having to align themselves to, I think, countries and regimes that they never would have had to before. So
I don't necessarily think what he's doing isn't without, if you're just thinking of total American self-interest, its own logic. But the way in which he's going about it is like a bull in a china shop.
That's what everyone says.
Liz D, and there's even more elements of lunacy to it, because I want to start the discussion off with Liz D saying Trump levied tariffs on goods from islands that are only inhabited by penguins. He did that for real. Now, there are a bunch of islands, I think they're considered to be part of Australia, have no inhabitants on them, have no exports, but they're privy to the same tariffs as Sri Lanka or something like that. Not surprisingly, the front of all the papers, I'm just going to throw up some of these.
Penny, yes. So can you upload Ned's speech onto YouTube? Because lots of us are only subscribed to
The Daily Mirror has in front of it, it says, world faces economic war, trading blows, nations poised to retaliate. Trump hits UK with 10% tariffs as US ignites global trade. What's important to say, I think we definitely got off lightly. Europe was hit with 20%. Many other parts of the world hit with much higher. I think us, Australia, Singapore, one other country. 10% was the lowest he gave to anyone. But look, there he is with his scorecard.
I think he put 17% on Israel, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Yeah.
And Israel have cancelled all tariffs.
Yes, 17%.
That's weird.
Yeah, he has no friends. Trump unleashes tariffs. I've just realised, actually, the card that he's holding is like a giant golf card.
No, it just makes me laugh so much because somebody said on LBC, it looks like the Eurovision. You won't like that photo.
Eurovision Song Contest.
Eurovision Song Contest.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
I mean, when do you ever see a president holding up a card?
And the interesting thing is that papers like The Telegraph, all those papers and all those people in this country that supported Brexit, and for whom most of us realise that Brexit has, I think, generated a sort of general loss of about 27 billion a year. They're calling it the Brexit advantage, that we were levied only 10%, whereas the rest of Europe was 20%. So I do think there is something to be said for the fact that he's gone lighter on us. Trump triggers $1 trillion global trade war.
He could change all of this tomorrow, couldn't he? This is what everybody says. It's all on a whim. You know, somebody in Parliament says the wrong thing or doesn't like his missus or something, and he just change it. It's just on a whim.
But have you not noticed no one's really saying anything critical of him anymore? He's got the world where he wants it.
He's a global dictator.
And I do think genuinely he's thrown this cat out amongst the pigeons, and he's going to wait and see how people respond. And then I think he will start to claw it back. I mean, it is madness. It is madness.
But also, it's like you said.
DP finally a positive of Brexit. We found one.
Anyway, so that's Trump-a-lump.
Yeah, Trump-a-lumpy dump.
Check out our Trump's America yesterday.
Absolutely.
But I don't hold back.
Let me just show you the big giant what's it as he plodded up to the podium. Here we go.
My fellow Americans, this is Liberation Day. Waiting for a long time. April 2nd, 2025 will forever be remembered as the day American industry was reborn, the day America's destiny was reclaimed, and the day that we began to make America wealthy again. Starting tomorrow, the United States will implement reciprocal tariffs on other nations. It's been a long time since we even thought of that. We used to think about it a lot. We didn't think about it for many decades, and you see what's happened.
Think about it
For nations that treat us badly, we will calculate the combined rate of all their tariffs, non-monetary barriers, and other forms of cheating. But we will charge them approximately half of what they are and have been charging us. So the tariffs will be not a full reciprocal. I could have done that. European Union, they're very tough, very, very tough traders. You think of European Union, very friendly. They rip us off. It's so sad to see. It's so pathetic. 39%, we're going to charge them 20%, so we're charging them essentially half. At the same time, we will establish a minimum baseline tariff of 10%. You notice that on the chart? And that'll be on other countries to help rebuild our economy and to prevent cheating.
Oh, God, he loves signing.
Look, check out his signature.
If he stands still too long, he'll sign you.
He loves the squeak of a pen.
He loves a big pen.
Get a big pen. Let's do it.
He loves it. He loves a big pen. Big marker.
He said, "Make America wealthy again." So it's the new phrase is "Mawa."
Oh God,
Mawa.
It was like we mention all the time this YouTube channel, The Bulwark, who we watch, and they were saying today, who are we? Are we angry with Europeans then. And what have the Canadians ever done to us? Are the Canadians an angry, cheating race? Like, who are we being liberated from? Honest to God, they were just taking the piss. Because he's just making out to Americans, and it will be people that aren't in the know, that they are under attack from the whole of the rest of the world.
But
he's ruling by dividing.
Let me ask
all
this
the
question
time.
though, just being devil's advocate for a moment. I see teeny tiny lass saying he's got a point. So Europe is, say, charging 40% on American goods coming into Europe. Why does he have no right to increase the tariffs?
Well, listen,
in reverse?
I do not. I mean, I can't add up my own bloody shopping
No,
bill.
but I mean,
so I don't know about I don't know about economics, but I listen to people that are very clever, and they say you cannot do it in this way because it destabilizes all the markets. And free trade is what America was all about. It's what it's what they're based on. So
my theory on it has always been that I think that the reason you can justify a disproportionate balance between what the world charges on American products versus America is that America is the world global leader of most products. As in, most, if you look around the world, I mean, I never forget being, in parts of the world where you'll be in the most esoteric place and there's the kind of McDonald's sign. I mean, America's reach is an imperial reach.
And they've always done really well. It's like Scaramucci says, just over the decade, America's GPD, I don't know whatever it is, GDP, I always get the wrong way around, is always magnificent. So
I just think, again, you're right. I mean, but I think it's important to understand
chaos and fear.
It is, but I think it's important to understand that for his supporters, for many people in America, this will be perceived as a redressing of a massive imbalance.
Yes.
And it's actually, you can't actually describe it as not that, but the way in which he's going about it. Well,
exactly. And that's what everyone says. It's the way you're going about it. And the way that he does it all with hate and anger and rage and meanness and insults is not good, is it?
No,
not good for our souls.
No, not at all. And I would like also to say that, interestingly, Mexico and Canada didn't get any tariffs added. I mean, I presume that's because they've already been tariffed up to their hilt.
Yes,
I mean, otherwise he's going to reach beyond 100%. I mean, well, in some cases, isn't there 600% put on some American liquor or something? I mean,
Jack Daniels.
Jack Daniels, some ludicrous thing. But anyway.
I love a Jack Daniels.
But if you want to have a quick look at, these are his charts. Tariffs charged to the USA 67%, from China 34%. So he said they're the kind tariffs. We're doing kind tariffs. We've been thinking. It could have gone worse, but they've gone kind. So they're kind tariffs. Okay. Well, that's Trump for you. So as the complete kind of economic shock to the world continues, let's talk about something else.
About what these flowers are.
Ranunculus.
Ranunculus. I thought they were peonies, but they are a peony family, aren't they? Absolutely stunning. Mark bought me those on Mother's Day. And I've changed the water every day. I want to keep them going forever. I think you should put them out at night so they stay cool. Is that right? We should put them out at night. Yeah, we should. I just want those always. They're just so beautiful.
You're right, Farida R. He's put tariffs on random islands with just penguins. The penguins did a double take. They stood there and they went, what the fuck? So, yeah. Okay, what should we talk about next? Let's talk about polite British phrases, shall we? This is quite a nice graphic to illustrate what we're talking about. So you might say something like, sounds fun, I'll let you know. But in fact, what you're thinking is, I've no intention of coming. Who here uses polite phrases to say the complete opposite?
In show business, it is, we must have lunch.
Yes. And
I think in the moment when people say it, they often believe it.
Right.
It's not like total fake. Oh, we must have a lunch.
So it's
in that minute, they mean it. But as they walk down the corridor, they know they're not going to do it.
So what you're saying is in saying it, there's a little bit of method acting going on there.
Yeah, it's like a behind the scenes.
But you know how you talk about, I love it when we do our reviews and you talk about the method of actors, and you often talk about how in a film, the difference between a great actor and a good actor is that they play the truth. Yeah. What you're saying is when you say, when we must do lunch, you're playing the truth for that moment.
Yeah.
Some people don't.
Now, nobody anymore says we must do lunch, because that became something that was really taken the piss out of.
Right.
So, we must do
your
lunch.
favourite ones.
But it's like, oh, let's have if you said let's do lunch,
Yes,
that's a no now in TV shows.
Do you engage in these showbiz politenesses? I mean, without blowing your cover or blowing your load?
But I wouldn't say it. But I have had it said to me, and I know we're not going to have lunch.
Is it a little bit?
And I'll go, yeah, that'll be lovely, and I know it's not going to happen.
Is it a little bit like an air kiss? Is it all that?
Yeah, but it's not as mean as that, because there are ones that are as mean as that. But luckily, I don't mix with those people. But there are people that are just busy, and it's like a punctuation.
Right.
It's something that's said and meant in the minute.
Yes.
But it's not. It's very unlikely it's going to happen.
Absolutely.
And it's not necessarily a power thing, because you both might be thinking, "Oh, yeah, that'd be really nice." But you know, it's going to happen.
Well, there's a piece in the Times today. It was a very funny piece. It really drew me in. Britain's favourite polite phrases for saying what we don't mean, i.e. conversations strewn with politeisms, which is what they're called, which attempt to conceal seething resentment, frustration, or even irritation.
And be having a think, guys, of ones that you might use, because we want to read some of them out.
So researchers say that almost half of people that they talk to utter such phrases, which were used about 14 times a day. The research project was done by Trinity College. The English Language Awarding Organisation questioned 2,000 adults to create a list of the British phrases most regularly used to avoid disagreements or discomfort. And the point behind this is, apparently teachers of English as a foreign language really struggle with this aspect of teaching English to foreign students. And I noticed someone here from Poland just saying, where are you? You said something like, girl traveling alone. Haha, I've lived in the UK for 15 years and I use them now, even in my first language.
Oh.
So it's that different. It's different to sarcasm.
I think it makes it very difficult if you're a foreigner, because you could offend and you'd have no idea you've offended.
Absolutely.
And or you could be offended.
I don't think Gordon Bennett is quite right, Katie Buckley.
I love Gordon Bennett.
Gordon Bennett. Who is Gordon Bennett?
Oh, didn't we find this out? Didn't we look into
But
this?
anyway, we're going to run through some of them, but just to give you a sense of what a good example of one, which they
but
give
maybe
you right
what
at the
she's
top.
saying there with Gordon Bennett is you want to say fucking hell,
Yes.
and you say Gordon Bennett.
Well, one of the most popular ones that they've got is, could I just squeeze past you? Whereas actually what you're trying to say is get out of the fucking way.
Yeah, because you're standing here, so I've got to squeeze past
Yeah, could I just squeeze? Sounds fun. I'll let you know. Which is really you saying, I have absolutely no intention of going.
But also, I think, could I just squeeze past you? Because we're known around the world, aren't we, for saying sorry too much.
Yes.
We're very deferential. We can be
Yes.
very deferential. So also that could be, oh God, could I just squeeze? It could be an extension of our need to apologise.
Yes. Well, why don't I run through some of the other ones? We've got sounds like, I beg your pardon. Translation is, I'm fuming.
Yes, that's brilliant.
Sorry.
As soon as you put, I beg your pardon, it's
over.
All bets are off.
Sorry, I'm a bit busy right now. Please leave me alone, in other words. No rush. When you have a minute.
Hurry up.
Please hurry up. With all due respect.
You're wrong, and here's why. Yes.
Now, this one, I have to confess, I've used this when I've had to liaise with really obtuse people. As per my last email, which really translates as, I already told you this. Sorry, could you say that last bit again? I wasn't listening to a word you were saying. This one, Nadia, you use. I hear what you're saying, which basically means I completely disagree with you. And I've noticed that you say that mostly, and I have to stay married so far.
But
I hear what you're saying.
Yes, but you see, what that is polite. Because you can say, I hear what you're saying, because we had this whole thing on our podcast the other day. Mark and I have always had this. I like the saying, we're going to have to agree to disagree. Because if you think you can get through a whole marriage where one of you is always going to convince the other one to agree with them, then it's crazy. You're always going to be, sometimes you have to go, we have to agree to disagree. So like when you say, I can hear what you're saying, it's like, I can hear where you're coming from. I understand that's what you're feeling and thinking, but I don't agree.
I'm going to share some of these. Victoria Moore, do you mind, meaning I do mind.
And pack it in. I love that. I have never said pack it in. I have never, ever said it. It's not in our family, pack it in, but I do love pack it in.
It's a good one. Teeny tiny lass. I'm not being funny,
but.
That's a good one. Here's some other ones that are in the article, and I'll read some more of yours out. Not to worry. This translates as, this is a disaster, but I'll pretend everything is fine. I think we use that sometimes with our kids. I'll bear it in mind.
Which means
horrible.
You've been put on the back burner, matey.
I'll forget about this immediately.
I'll bear that in mind.
It could be worse. I think I've used that a few times. It's pretty much the worst thing that's ever happened. Another one is, another one I noticed that you use in How to Stay Married with Me. That's one way of looking at it. And that translates as, you're wildly off the mark.
But again, it's the thing of like understanding that somebody has a different opinion.
Just a gentle reminder, which translates as, I cannot believe you haven't done this.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And I think you're an idiot and you're never going to remember on your own.
Happy to help. I'm having to help when I really don't want to.
Yes.
Appreciate if you could let me know either way. I cannot believe you have not replied to me.
Exactly.
I love this one. I've used this a lot. I'm sure it's just me, but this is entirely your fault, but I'm softening the blow.
Exactly what that means.
Yeah. And another one, it's not bad actually. Which means it's surprisingly tolerable considering my low expectations. Which I
like that. Grace Ann. Can't answer the phone right now. I'll call later, which means you really don't want to speak to the person calling because you're mad at them. Or you're not mad at them. You just don't want to speak to them.
Yes. Yes, Victoria Moore, leave it with me.
Yeah.
Leave it with me.
Leave it with me.
My angel Alfie, not being funny, but I can't believe what a total tool you are. We will keep in touch, says Zoe. Oh my God. What a peculiar thing to do, says girl traveling alone. I hate that gentle reminder, Trina Cotton. Just a gentle reminder.
It's so annoying, isn't it?
Yes.
It's so annoying.
Yes.
But actually, when I think about it, when I think about gentle reminder, when I think about it, it's incredibly polite. Because if you think when somebody says to you, gentle reminder, it is usually because you've forgotten. And the person isn't wanting to say, oh, God, you've forgotten, you haven't.
It can be. Well, I think they can all be actually quite nice. But...
Yeah, they can be. It's like, I think it plays to this thing that we are seen as a very polite race, and I don't want us to lose that. I don't want us to lose. I love that we say sorry so much, and I feel like we're losing a lot of that overly polite.
So maybe you're a big fan of these softened blows.
I am, because I think the different things that different people can get offended by. And, you know, we can go, oh, God, they got offended by that. It's nothing. But you might have something that you get offended by. Like, I am, you know, I'm fearful of my memory. So, like, if I'm left feeling really, like, panicked about my memory, that upsets me. Whereas if it's like, oh, yeah, you know, oh, yeah, I always forget this as well. Blah, blah, blah. That's how I talk to people. I go, you've probably forgotten, because I know I do. It's like you take the sort of...
Yeah, there are some quite horrible ones. Like, I'm not a racist, anxiety. But...
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Soften the blow. You don't really soften the blow. I'm not a racist, but as soon as... And people still sometimes use that as an opening gambit. I had a taxi driver the other day said, I'm not a racist, but... And you're like, wait, matey flip.
Years ago when I was younger, and there was a lot of... Well, there's always been a lot of anti-Arab, but at that time, there's a lot of anti-Arab around people shopping... These were people from the Gulf and stuff, you know, going and buying huge amounts of stuff in Harrods and lots of wealth sort of showing off, which I despise, just to say. But I so rarely got in a cab without a cab driver going, I'm not a racist, but, you know, these Arabs. And I sometimes feel really ashamed when I think back to that, because I would just like stay quiet because I didn't know what to say. And when I think about that time, I think I was just... Actually, what I was mortified and embarrassed for them. And I didn't want to embarrass them by saying, actually, I'm not half Arabic, or I'm, you know, and I would be very different now. I would be very different. I would probably say something. I wouldn't be confrontational, but I'd probably say, oh, you know, actually, Do you really think that that's just because they're Arabs? Do you think that, because, like when I got in the cab, they said, oh, nice seeing Nadia. Oh, my wife likes you, because people, cab drivers would say, my wife likes you. I go, because, I'm half Arabic. And then I would try and have a conversation with them. But God, when I was younger, I had no courage.
Do you think,
Zero
but that's interesting, because I think low level and not so low level. I'm looking at Reese's comment there about someone asking you why he couldn't say the N word. I mean, fucking hell. That sort of racism, that sort of almost that sidling up alongside you to kind of in sort of collusion with you, go, God, bloody hell, it's a bit, and I noticed that's the way racism, I've noticed it has got less in the public realm. And I think that is part of the positives, one of the positives of what people would describe as political correctness and wokeness, is that actually more people are a bit more
awake to other people's feelings.
And so it doesn't mean that cab drivers who were racist aren't still racist, but they ain't going to open their mouth in quite the same way. So
yes.
It doesn't necessarily mean they're not racist, but they're not going to sit there and try and draw you in.
Yes.
In the same way. Trina Cotton, I had a racist comment made indirectly to me last weekend. I had to let it go over my head. It wasn't meant rude, but it was so fucking rude.
Yeah.
And as was your
comment. And it is about
Reese,
choosing your battles, isn't it? It is.
Yeah. It's a bit.
What's that with Reese?
I remember years ago when I was at uni, my housemates came across an Oxford student who, when we were in the outside smoking area of a pub, said, "Sorry to bother you, but why can't I say the N word?" Provocation. That feels like provocation.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that was.
Can we play our? I love these two old people.
The old people, and then we'll talk about men who dye their hair. Okay, let's check it out.
Big milestone on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Is that what we saw?
No, we've got 200,000 followers.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know there was that many people living around here.
But they're not from around here.
The world. Are they?
So you could say, thank you for following.
Thank you for following. I hope you're having fun.
Anything else to say?
No. We're not acting or anything. We're just normal people. Our normal life. Perhaps we're unusual.
No, I think you're very normal.
Do you think we are?
Yeah.
Right. People recognise us though, don't they?
Oh my God! He looked like he was grimacing in agony.
The sweetness of that. Would you like to say anything? No.
But I must admit, I do like that. Your dad has a real awareness when we're filming with him for the channel or for anything. He knows, he's a performer. He's an actor. He knows when the camera's on and that sparkle comes in. My mum genuinely doesn't know what the fuck is going on. I mean, she calls it her machine. The other night, I was there, obviously, for various reasons. Behind the scenes, we've been going there back and forth a lot. But you guys knew I was there, and I sent a photo of her from her bedroom, and she said, "Hello, subs," and she carried on talking whilst I took the photo. I said, "Mum, I'm taking a photo." She said, "But they're all in here, aren't they?" I was like, "No, Mum, they're not all in here." I love that misunderstanding around tech.
My dad hasn't got a bloody clue what's going on with it.
No, but he knows that a camera's a camera, so he knows that something's being recorded
happening.
and it will go somewhere.
I love, this is my mum, 87, always on the pulse. I just got a breaking news from her. Gatwick is going to allow passengers liquids, which include creams, gels, paste, sprays and aerosols, can be taken through security in containers of up to 100 ml in volume and can be kept in hand luggage. Also, electronics won't have to be taken out of hand luggage. Doesn't say when, but seems imminent, thank God. Finally, this is my mum. However, anyone could be arrested, of course, for being pro-Palestinian. I love her. She's so on the pulse. I just want to, Mark, just flag up the name of that Instagram account with those two elderly,
not there, though.
two elderly people, because I know some of you are going to want to follow them. And you know the guy we spoke about last week on his boat, on his narrow boat?
Make me an offer.
Oh, he messaged me and he said, "Oh, thank you." We got loads of messages from
how
people.
Lovely.
So,
the single dad with his kids. Lovely.
Yeah, so thanks. Make me an offer.
Make me an offer.
Make me an offer.
An offer on Instagram if you want to follow them.
It's their son, actually. He lives with them and he posts about.
Right. I love their total unawareness of what makes them so watchable. I love that. It's a bit like my nan as well.
Love it. Love the innocence of it.
Let's take a look at Ben Affleck, who strangely looks just like James Caan. Don't you think?
I just want to do a call out to men.
This is before...
Don't dye your hair. Okay. It doesn't work.
So why did you get me to tint my
because
colour?
If you think about it, these have the very best hairdressers available to
That's
them.
George Clooney that we're
And
looking
it
at.
still doesn't look good.
The thing I do want to say to George Clooney is he's lost so much, not lost weight, but he's so sort of like, these baggy outfits, they can age you, can't they? A baggy outfit sometimes. I don't know. I think anyway, that's
But
George
my dad
Clooney with
for
jet black
years
hair.
went through
That's Leo with jet
went
black
through a
hair.
phase of dyeing his hair, and we'd all be like, oh my God,
Yes.
the amount of times it'd be purple or be blue, and see, it goes a bit yellowy. I think it makes you look older. Just embrace, because men can
hated
embrace.
the moment you got Simone to put some colour in my hair.
I loved it.
But that's dyeing, isn't it?
No, you just had a little flicks of
Yeah,
like.
but there was a time
No, it's
where I
trying
think you
to
did it once. And
cover
it went
up.
orange. Oh, I see. When you're trying to cover up.
I think if you're going blonde or you're doing something, but when you're trying to pretend that you haven't gone grey, for some reason it doesn't work on men. Does anyone agree with me?
Yeah, someone here's just said something which she was lonely. I hope to Nanny died. She was lonely, wanted to talk to everyone. Do a live stream and for her to talk to everyone. I will do, Penny. Yeah, she said she wants to do a live.
Oh God.
Someone said, "Oh, Farida R." I just want to share that. It's very simple. Ben Affleck is intriguing to me. He's intriguing to me. I find him a fascinating individual.
The biggest mistake of his life was he left Jennifer.
But isn't
Not
there-
Jennifer. What was the one he was
Jennifer
married?
Garner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then he went out with Jennifer Lopez.
Oh right.
Yeah,
two
they're the
Jennifers.
two Jennifers. That's Jennifer Garner, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
and
he was
I
great
think
there with his
he
natural
struggles
hair.
really. Look, he looks gorgeous there in a sweatshirt with his normal hair. Here he looks like
He does look old.
I don't like
He
it.
looks like James Caan, but 20 years, who's 20 years old. I think he passed away, didn't he, last year, James Caan? The thing I find
But me too.
fascinating.
He'll have gone to a salon. Men should go to a salon and have it done like me. Yeah, they tend to do it in my dad. We'd go upstairs with his pot of dye and we'd all go, "Oh no, don't do it." But he'll have a very posh hairdresser doing
He
his
looks a
hair.
bit like the guy in Love Island who obviously painted his hair in as well. You know, some people paint their hair.
that's exactly who he looks like.
Doesn't he? He looks like, what's the name of the guy who we can get to
can't
grips
remember
with?
his
But the
name.
longer I watch Love Island, I found him more and more agreeable.
Mm.
Yeah, can I just say though, the thing I find most interesting about Ben Affleck, try and hunt it out. I saw the most amazing interview with him about his struggle with fame.
Mm.
It was the least self-conscious, show-busy description of how uncomfortable he is with being in the limelight. I think his passion is writing and his passion is directing.
Well, why
And I
did he
feel
marry
that-
Jennifer?
And I think,
my
I'm not suggesting he's a perfect individual who hasn't got many faults and makes all the wrong decisions. He's made
I
many
think
wrong
he was
decisions.
chasing his addictions.
But I think he is a man who is truly haunted by all the vestiges and details of fame. He really is a haunted
But
character.
he is a massive contradictions because Jennifer, sorry, what's her surname? I can't
Jennifer
remember.
Garner,
No, the other one.
Jennifer Lopez.
Jennifer Lopez. He's
Karen.
great, you know. Jennifer Lopez. There's nothing wrong with Jennifer Lopez, but
I agree,
she is the epitome of, you know, it's palatial homes and fur coats and like big flashy wedding. It's like, how could you fall for somebody that really epitomizes all that? It's so strange, isn't it?
It could be for a role, as someone says, like George Clooney.
No, but I'm talking about. I'm relating to what you were saying just then.
Yes, sorry, I was just reading a comment. Sorry.
So he's such a massive contradictions because he ended up marrying Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Who is the epitome of big showbiz. And listen, there is nothing wrong with that. I mean, I love it. The people that do the whole big showbiz thing, the palatial homes, the first times and all that, because I love to look at it. And I don't think it makes you a bad person, but it's just a very different person, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, in a weird way, but maybe he genuinely had feelings for her.
But
And that was despite her profile. And maybe his discomfort with the fame has evolved over time, and he wasn't drawn to J-Lo because she's J-Lo. He was and all the fame that comes with her, but he was just drawn to something, an ideal, euphoric recall.
I mean, we can't know. We can't.
No,
know, can we?
absolutely.
But it just seems weird.
When I saw that interview with him, that
fame world.
interview has completely informed every single clip and image and story I've seen about him since, which is
I feel so sorry for him. He's so picked and hounded, and he's, you know, I think, like you say, I think he's a thinker. I think he's like so many people become traumatized by fame. You know, Britney Spears traumatized by fame, and I think he's a bit traumatized by fame. So I just found it just really interesting, and I couldn't understand why he would be with somebody who loves fame.
Creatorholic, taking us back to the color of his hair, says women do it. Why shouldn't men? Up to the individual what they look like, whether we think it looks good or not.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, I
do
mean,
whatever
of
you
course it's up
want.
to-
But
yeah.
what I'm saying is, just as a friend, is that it very rarely works on men, and I don't know why.
I think Dawn Decker hits the nail on the head. I think he is fundamentally a shy person. I
Yeah.
think you're absolutely right.
And if you are shy and you go into the big world of fame, it traumatizes, I think.
And if you're shy, and even if you're Ben Affleck, so say you're shy and Jennifer Lopez comes towards you for a bit of you know what, are you going to say no? Of course you're not. Well, of course you don't.
No,
I mean,
she's gorgeous.
shyness or not, you're
She's
like,
gorgeous.
hey,
She's
Jennifer
gorgeous
Lopez.
and she's talented and she's a full power woman and
Yeah.
all of that. But I do find it odd.
Okay, well, shall we show this last clip to end on, which is this? Do you need to tee it up? It's a clip of a. Oh,
This is so
This is
shocking.
kind of dark as well. Yes, I did have a look at this.
Have a look at this.
Listen to this, guys. Final clip for the day.
My God, when your son eats your dad as ashes. My son has eaten my dad's ashes. Oh my God, when your son eats your dad as ashes. My son has eaten my dad's ashes.
That's inconceivable.
But you know, there's very few people I know that have had ashes and done anything with them where it's all gone according to plan.
No.
Flies in their face, goes in their teeth, you know, just.
Ends up
And
at
so
the
I
dry
just
cleaners.
thought that's another one of those things. And actually, say that was me looking down from above and that was my grandchildren, great grandchildren, I'd find it hilarious.
Lee Peart. Some things do not need to be posted. Thank you, Lee.
They do not, Lee.
Yeah. Ye of one line today. Thank you
Lee,
so
I was
much.
just telling them about your show. I was saying over on Instagram. What's the date of the next one?
8th, isn't it? It's the 8th.
The 8th of April.
I think so. I think because I'm
8th
filming,
of
aren't I?
April.
I think
8th of April. So go to Lee. I'm going to put a link up today. If there are still tickets left, I'm not sure if there are. It's brilliant. It's his one-man
can't
show.
wait to see
I've
it.
seen it twice and it's fantastic. 8th of April.
8th of April.
8th of April.
And yeah, Lee, I'm looking forward to it too. Nanny Di, sadly, the difficulties of Nanny Di got in the way last time. So
Yeah, so 8th of April. And where is it on again, Lee? Oh, God, I'm so... 8th
the
of April.
Crazy Cox.
The Crazy Cox.
That's
12 tickets left.
Spelt COQS.
Yeah. So if you want to see Lee doing his thing, it's a fantastic show.
And there's
He
a moment in it.
sings,
It's
he-
strip tease, isn't there? At some point on a pole dance.
You never
I
know.
think
You
there's a
never
pole dance in it. Something like that. Okay,
Thank
guys.
you, Carla.
Thank you for that. Was a lovely coffee moaning. Thanks, everyone. Welcome to everyone who's come for the first time. As I say, there'll be many people watching this or able to watch this across the day who can't interact, can't subscribe, can't like, can't comment. And that's because you haven't got a Google Mail account or a Gmail account. Get yourself a Gmail account. Very simple, very easy. And as soon as you've done that, you can log into, you'll be able to go to YouTube and comment and subscribe and do everything you want.
DP wants to tell you that she thinks your hair looks great.
Oh, bless you. Thank you so much. Yesterday, I looked like I was caught in a wind turbine. Nadia did some work on my eyebrows as well this morning, which was quite handy. Thank you.
They were
pleased
coming
that you got rid of
towards
the-
me.
Well, you were stroking
when
you were flossing my ear with your bristle.
It's when you get the Tory eyebrows, it's all over.
It's when you get the wicked sort of
The
thingy.
witch whisker.
The witch whisker. All right, guys, have a lovely day. Something will be landing later. God only knows.